Alright folks, welcome back to another Elden Ring video. In today's build we're going through the Golden Order Paladin Caster build. That's a long mouthful of words, I should call it something a little shorter than that. But yeah, it's basically using Golden Order spells which were buffed in patch 1.04 and I really wanted to try them out, and it turns out it's actually a pretty nuts build. So let's just crack on and go and look at the gear and the stats first, and then we'll show you what we're doing with the build. So like I said, it is a caster build, but it runs a great sword as well, just for some melee damage. Now, the character stats, it's a level 125 build, again trying to run the PvP meta just now. We're looking at 50 vigor, 28 mind, 24 endurance, 18 strength, 18 dexterity, 23 intelligence, 53 faith, and 10 arcane. Now we are using the sword seal here, so if I take that off, that'll let you see what I actually have, which is 13 and 13 in strength and dexterity, 19 endurance, and 45 vigor. The reason we really want this, and this gives us so much bang for our buck here, we're getting 20 stats worth of goodies there, and that actually puts us up to the 1818 requirements for the Inseparable Sword, which I'll go through in a second as well. So the weapons we're using the Golden Order Seal, which runs on 17 int and 17 faith, as A scaling in both intelligence and faith, and we're also using the Erdtree Seal, which has S tier scaling in faith. So the main reason we're running two seals is because when we're casting our incantations to begin with, we want to actually cast them from the Erdtree Seal, get the S tier faith casting, and also get the boost from the Golden Order Seal to our Golden Order incantations. And we're also using the Inseparable Sword. This thing is nuts. It's got B tier faith scaling, but as I've mentioned in another one of my videos, this thing has the best moveset out of any greatsword in the game. Reasonably good Ash of War, and it's just a solid choice. You could use any other greatsword, to be honest, with this build, but I like this one, and it's got reasonably easy stats to meet, which is strength 18, dexterity 18, and you'll definitely have the 20 faith with this build. Moving on to the armor. Now the Radiant Gold Mask here, this actually boosts Golden Order incantations as well. Now you get this in the Altus Plateau region. It's really easy to get. It's just on like the end of a big bridge. So between that and also the Golden Order Seal, you're going to get a massive boost to the Golden Order incantations. And then the rest of the armor, it's just up to yourself. I'm wearing Veterans here because it just brings me under the medium load at my 24 endurance, and I'm able to get a reasonable amount of poise with some good armor on. But you can choose anything you want, whatever fashion. To be honest, if you're going with this build and it's Radiant Gold Mask, you probably want some really cool sort of Paladin, Templar type armor and make yourself look like a total badass. I'm using Erdtree's Favor +2 because it's like the best talisman in the game. Use it on every build. It just gives you so much bang for your buck. Like I mentioned, Radagon's Sword Seal, that's just to meet the stat requirements of the sword, but also give us more endurance and vigor as well, which kind of counteracts the increased damage taken, to be honest. It's pretty strong. Sacred Scorpion Charm raises holy attack because the Golden Order spells do use holy damage to deal it, and also we use Elden Stars as well, which I'll go through in a minute. And then the last one's the Phlox Canvas Talisman, greatly raises the potency of incantations. So we're getting a buff from here, from here, from here, and from here on these incantations, so they actually deal a ton of damage. It's pretty strong. So the spells we're using here, we're using the Triple Rings of Light. That is one of the Golden Order ones. It's had one of the better buffs in patch 1.04, where it casts much faster, does more damage, less frame rates, and it's really strong now actually. It's well underrated spell. It was pretty much useless before because I actually used to use it because I liked the spell. But yeah, it was quite useless before. What it does is it actually boomerangs out, so it can actually hit twice, which is really strong if you can hit both hits. But even if you're just hitting it the once, it still does a ton of damage. Wrath of Gold here is like an AoE. Basically, as soon as anyone gets close, hit Wrath of Gold, and you'll be able to launch them back, which is really good for aggressive enemies. And it's really quick to cast this too. You can actually catch people out jumping to you as well, which is nuts with this thing. Bestial Sling, because why not? It's probably the best incantation in the game for PvP. It's super strong for just catching people out. Doesn't deal a lot of damage, but it will just nitpick away at people. And it can be chain cast into Honed Bolt. Now, I'm not really using Lightning Spear in this build. I just chucked it in there because I was using it in PvE, so let's take that out just now. In PvP, I do use Elden Stars. Now, a lot of people don't like this ability. I really, really like it. I think it's one of the better abilities in this build. It doesn't do like insane damage, although in this build it does as much damage as it can, but it's just a really good distraction, and it can let you come in with your triple rings of light. And if you're throwing all these Elden stars on them, plus throwing like 3 discs of light at them, then come at them with a great sword, they really don't know what's going on most of the time. So it's pretty good for PvP, I think. Golden Vow, because again, why not? Boost your attack and defense, probably the best buff in the game. So this is the only buff we're using on this build. And then we've got Discus of Light. To be honest, Discus of Light is something I do only really use for PvE. I'm probably been taking that off most of the time for PvP. So I'll show you why. It's just so easy to dodge. So this is the Discus of Light. And then it'll hit them on the way back as well. So it does deal a ton of damage. I think this has had like 41% damage increase since the patch. But it's really easy to dodge, I've found, especially the fact that you kind of hold it up so they know what's coming, and then they can just jump out the way. So I find that one doesn't hit. The triple rings, on the other hand, it's just such a wide area that it is really easy to hit at least one of them. So pretty much every time I launch that thing, I'll hit them at least once, and it doesn't actually use that much FP considering what it does. The Wrath of Gold again, this is the Wrath of Gold here, does an AoE, it's super quick. You can actually hold it down as well and charge it and do even more damage. Bestial Sling, everyone knows what that does. It's the case of just launching it into the Bone Bolt like that and launching it really quick. Elden Stars, now this one takes a while to charge up, so you want to do this at the start. But look how many actual stars it's launching here. It's just such a good distraction. If you're going in with that and launching the Rings of Light, people are just not going to know what to do. And Golden Vow, everyone knows what that does. So really, that's the main incantations, or the only incantations we're using. And they're all, apart from the Bestial Sling and the Hone Bolt, they're all dealing holy damage. So yeah, let's just jump this one into some PvP and let you see how it plays out. But just before we go in, actually, what are we using for the Flask of Wondrous Physique? Flask of Wondrous Physique, we are using Temporary Boost Faith and Temporary Boost Holy Attacks. Pretty self-explanatory. You get another 10 Faith with this one. Now the stat requirements, I should have said, are pretty difficult to get on this build because you've got so much to get. You know, I have to get Strength and Dexterity for the sword. I have to get Intelligence here for all the incantations, because the problem with the Golden Order incantations is they use Intelligence and also Faith, which makes it quite difficult to build. So I'm basically having to build like everything apart from Arcane in this build, which means I've kind of got a weird hybrid thing going on. But they are so powerful, you'll see in PvP, it really doesn't actually matter too much. Now I suppose I should go quickly through the Inseparable Sword as well. This thing's an absolute beast. What you want to do with this though is two-hand it as soon as you get the chance. And look at the moveset here, it's super quick for a greatsword, and it catches loads of people out. I'm actually working on a really strong, just proper sort of melee damage paladin build with this weapon, and it's doing really well at the moment in testing, so hopefully there'll be a video out with that really, really soon. The Ash of War on it as well does actually buff the blade and throw out a ring, which you can kind of aim up or down, and I think the buff lasts for about 10-15 seconds, and it buffs it by about 10-15%, I believe. I can't actually remember. So yeah, it's a really, really strong weapon, and it looks badass as well. So yeah, that is the build, guys. I'm just going to run into a bunch of games of PvP, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. This is a new Elden Ring channel going. I've actually got another YouTube channel for all you people that follow me in my other channel, which we've been covering gacha games for a good 3 or 4 years now, but this is my next venture into YouTube, so a like and a subscribe would be much appreciated. And that's it, guys. Hope you enjoy the video. Take it easy. Peace.